points we want to leave you with in this final takeaway. Dan, I'm going to let you talk maybe about we always talk about the rules and recommendation engine when we're talking to prospects and even when we're talking to clients out there on helping them affect the business.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I think really when we start taking a look at a lot of this stuff is that under the hood, as the previous, I think the other previous slide stated, or maybe it did a few slides ago, but the thought process here is that you're going to have all of this data coming in, and you need to be able to start establishing certain rules around that data. And then from there, your recommendation engine will help understand those rules and understand what's happening with that data, and then trigger out the right actions to the right people. So the combination of those two things working together is very, very powerful. Rules engines, they've been out there for a long time. They're great, a great technology, and it's a great place to kind of start to motivate and maybe kind of start taking some initial actions. But we have all of this data available to us, so we really need to challenge ourselves to really kind of take that next step. And this is where that recommendation, the AI side of all of this really comes into play. And again, this is where we're starting to talk about, hey, we have a surplus of inventory at this set of stores. Here is a suggestion of an incentive program or a promotion that we can do to get that out of our store before we have to go and send it off, to be sold someplace else. And then at the same time, hey, look, I've got people on my team that are getting ready to churn. Here are the suggested next activities to help them stay engaged. And so, as we're starting to really think about PEP and deploying PEP, again, this mindset between a rules engine and this recommendation or the AI aspect of making sense of all that data.
So if you think about that business rules engine, right? Think about that as being very prescriptive. It might be what you at corporate lay out as my journey for a brand new employee, a new sales rep, somebody who promotes to supervisor. It may be something you lay out to give me, the employee or distributor, choices, right? If I want to try for this incentive, if I want to upskill, reskill, whatever that might be. But like Dan said, that AI then, so you may give me a path, you may give me choices, but hopefully that machine will optimize what that journey toward success looks like. And here again, the reason we close with these last 3 bullet points on this slide, whatever you're using today or whatever you're going to use tomorrow, if you cannot quantify what that is doing for the individual and quantify what that is doing for the bottom line, you should be looking for something else that you can invest in.
Yeah,
so we're going to leave you with 2 points, right? And 2 pictures to remember that point. So Dan was talking about this picture before, right? This performance enablement map. So I like to think about that, and we may argue on this. I like to think about this map as being my consolidation for me, the end user, right? And we talked about this already. One more, I asked Dan if he would sort of address this slide. This is sort of how I want you to think about that consolidation of tech for the organization. Because as you walk out of here today, that's the only 2 points I want you to remember about what performance enablement is. How it optimizes the experience for the individual, how it optimizes the spend, the architecture, whatever, the corporate bottom line for the company.
Yeah, so again, we can spend hours talking about this slide. I'll try to do my best in a shortest period of time. Again, the idea is we always want to try to drive engagement. So, we're dealing with individuals again, whether this is an employee on a storefront or if it's, a direct sales individual, we're dealing with individuals with a short period of time and with a lot of things going on. So they're not going to be just sitting every day, just being inside of a platform. So what we have to do is we have to reach out to them. And this is where that engagement aspect that you see on the left side is that we're going to send messages to those individuals across whatever channels they happen to be in. When we take that data, that engagement data, the click-throughs, the opens, the actions, all of that goes back into the Rallyware database, and we merge that data with commerce data, with commission genealogy or HR data, and then also social engagement data. It's just a huge piece of it. Bring all of that back in, and all of that sits within inside of a single data structure. And then you set your AI, your recommendation engines sitting over the top of that. And then from there, you set up the necessary information. So in the direct selling space, maybe our AI engine is initially looking for churn. What's your lost revenue going to look like over the next 30, 60, 90 days? And here are those individuals that are going to churn. And then we're based off that information, based off the data information, that goes into the logic aspect of your performance enablement platform. And then from there, it triggers out the activities and actions that need to happen. So whether that's team management, somebody on my team is going to churn and I need to motivate and encourage them. Somebody on my team is not performing at a way that we really need them to perform. So we need some managerial support in this particular case. A lot of times those things may introduce you to some new learnings. So we need to be able to ensure that that learning and development activity is there to support that team management aspect. And then it could go on into an incentives and recognition. Not only, hey, this is an incentive program you should run, but also at the same time, hey, look, I am currently in this incentive program. This is where I'm at. This is where I want to go. Here are the actions I need to do to get there. And then into CRM. So again, this is both an individual handheld CRM for customer acquisition, customer management, or clienteling. And then from there, of course, corporate CRM as well. And then all of that action lives inside of one place. So all of our reporting, all of our KPI activity, all of it sits in one experience so that we know how we can make impacts to change the overall end results that we're looking for from our frontline employees or our field in general.